There we are.
Just like that. Uh,
Boom.
Perfect. Everything looks good. Can
Yeah.
you see?
Yeah, I see
Is
that.
the
You got a
Eagles
chicken. There's a chicken on your hat.
a, a beaver?
The beaver's over here.
Okay, Team Beaver.
Yeah. Running for Bucky's.
We got new people on the Eagles bandwagon. When you hate the Chiefs so much, you start to get a little heavy in the wagon.
Yep. Yep.
There's
Which
room.
much respect to that. That is, I'm not a
Go
volleyball fan, but I don't like Chiefs either.
go sports.
Go sports.
So, are you heading to Key City tomorrow? That is my question to you right out of the gate.
I am not.
All right.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a point series thing happening.
There's always something happening at Key City.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
just, yeah, it's 100 miles from me. So
Yeah.
it just, yeah,
Well, um, heartfelt condolences go out to our friend Ed Wagner.
yeah.
Um, and you
Uh,
were topic of conversation with your recent loss, and you
yeah.
know what you were dealing with. I had a chance to talk with Ed for a bit today. I know he's heading out to Key City for a little mental day tomorrow.
Good.
But he's got guys from Scranton making like a 3-hour trip one way and then coming back tomorrow. So some boys are commuting to head out to Key City. So
It's commitment.
yeah,
It's a
good for
great
them.
place. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I'm just too lazy to do it.
Lazy, I don't think I'm gonna go.
I've been building,
Gonna
so
put you in the lazy bracket.
I've just been building. So
Oh, Kevin, how you doing, buddy? Kevin Sims had me make a left turn. Now going off the deep end here with a 14 scale King Hauler. I am all in. He just started pushing and pushing and pushing, and if there's anybody to have in your driver's seat when you're talking 14 scale stuff, it's this guy.
yeah, yeah,
Holy smokes!
yep,
He's got he's got a collection. He knows the inventory. He knows what's available aftermarket. He's kind of got model numbers and manufacturers just memorized.
Memorized. Yeah,
You
it's
want
scary.
stacks here. You want this. You want bearings from this guy. You want to go here for this. Like, bam, bam. I'm like, slow down. Send that all in an email to my secretary. We are going to have to go through this line by line.
Yeah, I need that in Excel.
Ay. Yeah, good for him. Yeah, so it's no secret. It's been a while. We wanted this opportunity to sit down with the Godfather of RC. This man is truly an icon, a staple in the RC world, no doubt, and your source for hardware. So we're going to get nuts tonight, and we're going to talk nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
So, Michael, make yourself presentable. He got himself squared away tonight, people. He's got lighting, he's got audio. This man looks like he's done this before. That is for darn sure. And then once we get a chance, Jeremy, I definitely want to take a closer look at what you've been working on. The rumor is Rift. So, for all you rock bouncing fans, GCM did a trans, huh? And an interior. Is that what I saw there?
Yeah. Part of their Patreon is access to the files to turn your Rift into a scale rock bouncer with full interior.
You answered the question then right out of the gate. All right. Yeah. I was wondering if it was a file thing or what you were actually getting there. All right. That is fan freaking tastic. All right, give me a second here. We're going to close out our overlay, and we are going to make room for Mr. Kirby to join us. Boom, boom. And while we are getting you two the introductions under control. I will slide back over and slide this over to what was it? The Maryland page. I wanted to make sure we get it shared in there in the Carry All fan page. But I lost my notes. Maryland Crawler, is that it?
Oh, on the rocks.
On the
Maryland.
rocks. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right.
OTR.
Here we go. I found what I'm looking for here.
Good.
So let's get rid of this overlay. Boom, like that. And as soon as we come back from this brief pause, we will have Mr. Kirby here.
Ground control, we're loaded and ready to taxi.
Flight 209er, you are cleared for takeoff.
So
Nice.
close.
No, wasn't horrible. Getting better.
Bad. It was bad.
Hey, I can see myself.
Hey, Mr. Kirby.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey, hey.
Is this a Saturday night thing for you to just be sitting around wrenching? Is this a norm? Or
No,
are you
it's,
showing off?
no, it's not necessarily a norm. I'm getting ready for a big race. You probably know I'm big into the vintage community, and we are hosting what could possibly be the largest vintage race in the world in March at a buddy of mine's track. And I've got a bunch of cars to get ready.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of cars. I think I'm running 5 classes.
Wow.
And, yeah, like some of my cars are literally in pieces. So I've spent quite a bit of time out here as of lately trying to get parts for this race. We've got a lot of world champion drivers coming to it. I think right now there's 16 world champion drivers.
Wow. Big
Matt,
race.
Matt Francis, Mark Kavitas, Greg Hodap, Dane Carnes from Street Outlaws is coming, Ryan Dunbar. Gosh, the list is huge. Jimmy Babcock. Eustace from MIP is coming to race.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Curtis,
Nice.
Curtis Hustings from our associated coming. And a lot of these guys didn't have cars, so I stepped up and said, hey, I'll supply them cars. So I've got, they're piled everywhere around here right now.
Well, if anybody has the cars to do it, you do.
Well, the class they're racing is double X or V3 era. And I went out to the barn there and dug out some cars. I dug out 23 double X's, and I think I had 13 V3s. So, and 15, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see here. See those parts right there?
Yeah.
There's 15 totes of new and packaged parts there. So we got them all lined out with new arms and new spindles, and you know, the cars will be like new.
Dang.
So not only did you have the car, you also had the upgraded parts to hop them up and get them ready to race. Like, that's insane.
Doesn't everybody have that?
No.
It's just a hobby.
But you do have an impressive collection. Personal collection. I know you sell a crap ton of stuff, but you keep a lot of it.
I like to think I have a nice collection. It's nice to me. A lot of people enjoy it. But I enjoy seeing the other guys' collections. Like Jeremy's collection is phenomenal. He's got stuff that I don't have, and I've got stuff he don't have.
Yeah.
That's kind of what makes it collecting.
Yeah. Yeah. Good balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my balance is kind of off right now because I have way too many.
That's a fact. It's trailers. Like you literally have trailers of overflow.
Well, our barn is 50 by 196.
What? That's huge. That's a small cattle farm.
That's just the barn.
So at the farm, you've turned it into an actual hobby shop that people can come to during the week, all week long.
I've got a hobby shop up front, KNK RC Hobby Center. We are open 9 to 5. We specialize in the crawler stuff, but I think the guys enjoy digging through the back of the building better than they do the front.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can see that.
yeah, we have people travel from all across to come dig through boxes of old parts.
Well, there's a reason that you started gaining such a large collection, because it's this picker thing that kind of took over. You're
What?
running down and buying up people's lots that are getting out of the hobby, so you'll go and grab 15, 20 at a time.
It's not
More?
even necessarily that they're getting out. Some guys want to just downsize.
Okay.
I mean, I've bought estates. I've bought entire hobby shops. To me, it's about buying everything so that I can get what I want and then I sell off what I don't. The problem is I buy more than I sell. So, like, I bought a collection 2 months ago. It's still in the trailer. I haven't even had time to go through it. You know. But then you start digging through collections and you find stuff like this that the average person don't know what that is. But that's 1985, 86. New and packaged MIT transmission for an RC10.
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff sits around. It gets, hobby shops go out of business. I know I've gone in with purchasing hobby shops that went under, and the amount of old stock it's insane. Somebody out there needs that part, but you have really no good way to get it to that person. How do you manage that?
Well, I've been fortunate. I've done eBay a little bit myself, and then I've got 2 people that list stuff on eBay for me. And just recently, my middle son Gavin has taken an interest. Of course, he don't want to work for old dad, like every kid. But I finally got him to sit down and see what kind of money he could make, and show him the path. And he's done really good in the past. This has only been the past week, but he's starting to get that fuel behind him. And earlier today, my eBay reset, and he said, "Hey, Dad, I got 250 listings to do this month." And I'm like, "That's what I want to hear."
Yeah.
On top of that, I just started a new website, rcpickers.com. And what we're doing is we're starting to manufacture some of the parts that you can't get anymore. Of course, they're not direct copies. They're being changed to where the guys that need the stuff, they can still find parts that'll work with these old cars.
Yeah, so not exact copy, maybe an improved design or something
different. I want to make sure I protect the vintage collector.
Yeah.
The last thing I want is to release a direct copy and people sell it as original and it's not. We've seen it time and time again in this industry with the fake stuff out there and people trying to sell it as real. And I don't want to be part of that. I value, I'm proud of the name I've built, and I want to continue to keep that name.
Now, this vintage hardware, this stuff that you're talking about now, these parts, are they up on the website right now?
On rcpickers.com, they're on there. They're not on the KNK site. They will be, but they're not yet. Right now, we just released RC Pickers to the public 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that new. Okay.
Well, I've been doing RC Pickers on eBay and the RC Pickers hashtag for years. as I travel around and buy collections. But the actual website, I've owned it for, gosh, probably 6 or 7 years. But we finally did something with it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, saw a bunch of people, and myself included, signing up and subscribing or getting a member, becoming a member of it. So
the plan there is, I want to be able to sell parts cheaper, and I sell them on eBay because we don't have the fees.
Yeah,
I want to be able to sell my parts that I make, that like you see right there, and then I've got another tab that's not even shown yet on there because there's nothing in it yet. It's the salvage yard, but I want to have used trucks and stuff available to people. That's affordable.
Yeah, like a entry level collector item, like a Blackfoot or
Exactly.
something to kind of get them collecting, starting to figure out what it, what those vintage originals look like.
Yeah. Now the parts you see there, Mike, like the hexes you see there, those are a concept to allow you to continue to run. Here, let me grab one real quick. I've only got 50 of them.
But is this more vintage, or you wouldn't come here looking for like a new crawler base camp or something like a starter?
No, the crawler base camp stuff. I won't tell you the RC pickers won't have that in the salvage yard.
Okay.
But the parts that RC pickers will be manufacturing are probably going to be mostly on the vintage side.
Vintage. Okay.
The stuff the modern stuff that we manufacture, that'll all be manufactured through KNK. But like those little hexes you see there, here's the factory one and here's the new one. And the reason we did that is you can't get wheels for those cars anymore. So we made an adapter that fits in the factory spot that allows you to run modern wheels on a car.
Yeah. Which, some of those buggies, the tire sizes were a little weird, the offsets were a little weird, the bearing sizes were a little weird. So having those adapters to run modern wheels and tire that's game changing for an older buggy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did a first run of them, and if you look on the website, they're sold out already.
Yeah,
and, I've got more coming next week, and I'm like, wow, those went quick. I didn't even keep any for myself.
Well, we want to recognize the originality in what you've been releasing within the last 6 months. You brought us that shocks, and now this new design, and I think that was the most. We spent a lot of time on that, Jeremy, a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But like, how freaking cool this is, seeing what you've been doing with original, like really putting thought in, not copying anything. Bravo, like good stuff.
Well, you know the backstory as far as how KNK started. Mm-hmm. I'll kind of give you the short version. I was a full-time ironworker foreman. I worked 12, 14, 16-hour days. And I wanted to save some money on hardware, so I bought a bunch of hardware. And I sold a bunch of hardware all in one day. And I'm like, well, daggone it, I didn't get any for me. So I bought a bunch more. It came in. It sold in 3 days. And I said, well, daggone it, I didn't get any for me. But at the time, my wife was a stay-at-home mom. And our kids were in school. And I said, this is something you can do. And, we can make a little extra money. Well, that just kind of snowballed. That was 2013. And in 2016, I walked out of the steel mill. I won't say it's for the last time, but I hope I don't have to go back. And KNK is, worldwide now. I always tell people, I've always got KNK on. Amberly is the first K. I'm the second. I'm the one that always gets mentioned or talked about, but honestly, she's the backbone. Behind every good man is a better woman.
Yep.
And both you guys know her personally.
Yep.
She puts up with a lot of stuff with me.
I haven't seen that at any of the shows we've been together with. I haven't.
You've got a good one, and that is for sure.
It just keeps growing, and we're truly blessed. I tell people all the time, how many jobs can you go to work and work with your best friend? And we literally sit and we share a center desk. You know, do we argue? Of course we do. We're married. But at the end of the day, you know, we both have our opinions and we get stuff done. And if we have donuts with dad or muffins with mom, guess what? We go to school and we eat with our kids and we spend time. That's why I tell people, you know, just because I'm open 9 to 5, you better call and make sure, because if my kid's got a football game or my daughter's got a cheerleading practice,
Family first.
Dad and mom's going to be there first.
Yeah.
You guys have always been the RC family. There is no question. You guys have been a great inspiration and a good role model. A perfect RC family. That is
I won't say perfect, but we try to do everything as a family. I mean, even when we were having our big events out at the farm, you know, it was always family, fun, competition, and in that order, because you have to be able to bring your wife and kids. You have to have fun. And last but not least is competition. I'm as competitive as anybody you know. I mean, when it comes to competition, I don't like to lose. But I started this hobby 39 years ago because it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in this hobby 39 years later because it's still fun.
Yeah.
Bravo.
We started about the same time. So yeah, it continues to be fun. So it continues to be my hobby. And meeting people like you as part of the hobby, to me, is the community as part of the hobby, is the part of the hobby experience that I hope most people get to enjoy. You know, knowing that hobby shop owner, knowing people like you, it's all part of it, and that's what keeps us around.
We met a lot of good people over the years, and especially in the past 10 to 15 years since social media. I mean, I've got some people that I call super good friends that I've never met in person because of social media. You know, it's amazing where the hobbies went, and I hope it continues to grow, not just the scale world, but just the hobby in general.
Yeah. Now anymore, it's, you know, the bashers, the access to bashers and parks and people figuring that out.
Yeah.
All that stuff, it needs good hardware too. It's not just crawlers and vintage buggy stuff. It's, you know, that basher market is growing.
Look how little that kid was there.
Yeah.
Go back to that first picture.
I was going to pull up some of these kid pictures.
Yeah.
And look how little Gavin is.
Yeah.
But this is the family sticking together for a long time. This is like 10 years ago, traveling to Pennsylvania, the backwoods of nowhere, Pennsylvania, at Roush Creek. Here comes the Kirby family. Good stuff. I've got here. Look how young they were. How cool is this? These are some relics that we found.
Yeah.
Jay Slick.
Yep.
I better be careful scrolling through my photos
Yeah,
like this. I don't know what's gonna come up.
Look how little Gavin is there. All right.
Wow.
I'm a little over 6 foot, and Gavin looks me in the eye now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say maybe 7 foot. If I'm about 6, you're about 7.
You're not about 6, Mike.
You're about 5, Mike.
I was going to give him 5 foot nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Wow.
Oh, these are some relics, I'll tell you. There was another good one. I found you out here doing some competition stuff.
Uh-oh.
Where were you here?
I'm afraid to.
Oh, here you are. There you are. Remember that truck?
That's my GCM Bronco.
There you go.
I still got it.
I'll have to
I'll go.
send these. I'll send you these. You probably don't have these photos.
I was a
This
whole
is
lot
like
skinnier back then.
this is me photo bombing you when you weren't looking. Yeah, that'll put a smile on your face right there.
It definitely makes you smile.
Yeah.
I told you I got that little figure where Brian was 3D printing me. I got it sitting right up here on the top shelf.
Yeah, that's what he was doing in that one photo. He was walking around scanning you for a 3D printed Mike Kirby. You should grab that file and sell it, Mike. I want that up on the KNK website. That is fantastic. And yeah, competition is in your blood. You were at USTE, probably the least competition event on the planet. And do you remember racing Almeida with the slashes in the drag race?
I don't remember that. I remember the first year they had it. The first year they had it there.
You grabbed that slash controller out of my hand and you're like, give me that. And you started racing with Almeida. It was to the death. It like ankle busting. You guys were out for blood. And I'm like, this man, Mr. Kirby, does not want to lose at anything.
I know the first year I went up there to Motorama, and I went up there to just hang out and walk around and talk about my hardware because we were relatively new. And I got to meet GCM, and I was like, flabbergasted there to talk with Chris and Dana. We went out to dinner. But Jonathan Matthews and a couple other guys talked me into running. And I'm like, no, I'm not running. And they gave me this. It was a bone stock SC. Was it SCX10 or a Ascender? But anyway, it had these big, long king shocks on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it had this big, it was a Ascender, but it had king shock and a SCX10 Jeep body. It was super top heavy. And after the first day, I was sitting third out of everybody. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I ended up winning the whole thing the first year. And I'm like, come down to me and Todd Knock.
Oh my. D&D. Oh, that is a blast.
And I'm telling you what, it took me 40 minutes to get up this little waterfall they had. But we made it, and my winch quit working. It was just... So then GCM gave me that Bronco to run the next year. And going into the first day, after the first day, I was tied for first. But then the next day, Mike, what's his last name? I'm bad with names. Anywho, I flipped, and he beat me. But I felt obligated to buy that truck. So I bought that truck, and I've still got it.
Nice.
And GCM wanted to see if I could do it twice with a borrowed truck. I put the pressure on me.
They're always tempting.
Michael, we slid over a couple things here real fast. We did a really fast intro here. We didn't even give you a chance to really give a backstory on where are you out of? It's Ohio, correct?
Yeah, we're out of Ohio. I grew up in a little town called Lebanon. And I lived there my whole entire life up until about 8 years ago. And then we moved out to a village called Orgonia. And my kids still go to Lebanon City schools, but we're out in the country a little bit further. We got a little 5-acre place with a pond and animals. And it's my wife, myself, our 2 youngest children. Our oldest son lives about 5 minutes away on the farm my wife grew up on, and he's married. My middle son, my middle child, is a sophomore in high school, and my daughter is in 7th grade.
So, when you mentioned the farm, is there any chance of hosting the big crawl? You're not even going to let me get it out. Holy crap!
It's completely gone.
Wow. Okay.
Everything is, all the rocks have been moved. All the course has been torn up. I will tell you that I've brought the rock here. I used a lot of the rock around my pond to dress it up, but I have a lot of rock. You have to realize we had somewhere around 200 ton of boulders on that course.
Yeah.
There was 800 ton of dirt.
Wow.
All the rocks are here. Someday I may have a small course here. I won't say never. I don't have the facility to do it here, and I had to stop then because my health was really bad, and I couldn't do it anymore. Since then, I've lost some weight, and I'm still trying to lose more. And I've got 2 new knees. Things are looking up. You know.
All right, you skipped ahead. Your health was next on my list. We'll go there. We're very, very, very happy to hear about the new knees, but the diet, it looks like it's working. Congrats! It's not easy. It takes a lot of work.
What people have to realize when they diet
It's a
is
life change.
no, it's not even necessarily a life change, although it is. What I want people to understand is I didn't get this big overnight, so it's not going to come off overnight.
Bingo.
When I started my diet, life change, whatever you want to call it, last January.
Okay.
I lost 76 pounds, and I did it by giving up bread, pasta, potatoes, and pop.
Ouch! That hurts.
And I did that. I did that for 6.5 months. I didn't cheat one time.
And tobacco in between all of that, also.
No, I still got my tobacco.
Okay. I packed one as you did. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let you go all in on this.
I don't pack. I got the little pouches.
Okay.
So I started that again January 1 this year. But I decided I was going to do a little different this year. I was going to do like 4-week periods, then take a little break, then do a 4-week period. So I finished 31 days of January without anything, no pop, pasta, potatoes, or bread. And I had my first meal last night. I had some spaghetti and a cheese cone. So, but guess what tomorrow brings? 4 more weeks. But my goal is, when I first started my diet, my life change, whatever you want to call it, my goal was just to survive. I was in bad shape. Both my knees were bad. The doctor asked me, he didn't even know how I could walk. And I knew I was going to die. So I started losing weight. Doctor said he'd do the surgery. I had 2 goals in mind. This comes back to family. I want to walk on the football field when my son's a senior and him be proud of his daddy. And I want to dance with my daughter the day she gets married. That's my 2. That's my 2 goals. You know, after the fact, my little girl made a 3rd revision to my weight loss. She wants to jump out of an airplane at 18 years old. So I told her at 18, I'll jump out with her. So I have to get down to 250 pounds.
Yeah, let me tell you about 200-pound boy hitting the ground out of an airplane. You won't do it twice.
I have no intention on doing it twice. I asked the doctor if I get down to that weight, if my knees will hold it when I jump, and he said it will. So I said, okay.
And the doctor's like, that's how you're going to treat your new knees, by jumping out of an airplane?
Hey, I've got, this is a 5-year plan to get down to that weight.
Okay.
Slow and steady wins the race with that.
I lost 9 pounds in the month of January, so I was happy with that.
Yep.
You know, at my heaviest, I was 427 pounds. So I can walk to the end of the driveway now and not be puffing and puffing.
Yeah. It's those
Great.
little milestones. I mean, we're not looking for 30 pounds in a week. 30
Yeah.
pounds in a year. Like that. That's
Even if you
slow
could
and
do
steady.
that,
That's
even the
not
people
healthy.
that do, it's terrible for your health, and
Mhm.
and it's not sustainable. Like you can't maintain that.
Yeah.
And if you do, you're going to have like skin removal.
Well, my middle son, Gavin, years ago, I ran demolition derby cars for 15 years straight. He's got the bug now, and he wants a derby. Well, I climbed in a car last summer, and I can get in a car. So we got two of those sitting out back. He wants to run in the county fair this year.
Nice.
So we got a lot going on. We're building a square body pickup truck. We got RC stuff out our ears.
That's good. That is insanely just awesome. Like really.
And a crap ton of travel. K&K ends up at a good chunk of RC events around the country.
We used to travel a lot more, but as the kids have gotten a little bit older, like I'd love to go up to Super Shafty, his fall crawl thing,
Yeah.
but that's right in the middle of football season, and I've already told myself I will not miss one of my son's games. And last year I didn't go to two of them only because he was hurt. He's not playing, but if he's on the field, I'm there. They're only little once, and they're not little anymore.
They grow up quick.
Yeah.
My daughter's off to college already, and my son's 17. And it's like, where did it go?
And Gavin got his driver's license last weekend.
Holy crap.
Yeah. He's gone right now. He went to the rodeo tonight. So
Freedom.
yeah. It was Thursday night, and he had to take his driver's test Saturday morning. And he said, "Dad, you think I could go to the rodeo Saturday night?" And I'm like, "You don't even have your license yet." He said, "Oh, but I'm going to pass." Yeah. So
we haven't heard rodeo on the Rad Show ever, and we heard it twice in one night.
Yeah.
It's a rodeo thing. I love it.
It's a country thing.
I don't know if I've ever been to a rodeo.
What? You've never been to a rodeo?
I don't know if I had. I've got to add it to my bucket list.
Now you've Quaker villages.
Now you've heard rodeo 7 times.
Wow.
It is the word of the day. I love it.
Rodeo.
So, can we talk shocks? That was the first question that popped up here.
Was
scrolling up in the comments here. The very first question was about let's talk shocks. We want to know more about the K&K shocks. Is this the boss?
That's the boss
shock.
When you buy them, that's what they look like.
Okay.
Fully assembled. 90 millimeter. They have on the top there, you screw in from the bottom side of the cap, and you put your rod end on there. Here, I'll just make it easy. Let me open this.
Well, and I can. Do you have assembled photos on the website? On the K&K one?
There's a few on. If you go to like the actual shock, I think it's on there.
And I know we have them saved somewhere. We covered them pretty extensively.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Ago.
So this is the shock fully assembled, right?
Okay, perfect.
Now I gotta find my tools. You caught me off guard with that one, Mike.
Now wait, is this package cheaper now that it's open?
Oh. It costs more because he's doing
because he touched it.
Because he touched it.
All right, so I'm taking this little tiny screw out of the bottom of the spring retainer, and this is how easy it is to change the springs on these shocks. That spring retainer pops right off. Now you can change your spring. So you don't have to worry about losing your spring cup because there is a screw that holds it on.
Does it come with extra springs, or is it only coming with one spring?
It comes with the medium spring,
Okay.
And we offer a spring assortment of 4 different styles. I think it's $14.99. So, yeah, you can get the springs for it. The springs are the same diameter as any mini spring. So your mini T springs will work and some of the other manufacturers. And it's a knurled shock cap. So once you put your fluid in there, you literally can put it on by hand. A lot of people don't realize why the shock body is threaded, but that's so you can run our adjustable offset mount that literally threads on here. And there's a jam nut that once you put it in the position where you want it, you can lock it in place. And then your rod end comes off the side. So you can actually run a shock with 90 millimeters, the same travel as a 90 millimeter shock with only 35 millimeters in between mounting holes. So you can actually run the shocks without shock towers if you wanted to.
Which is huge for a lot of these new chassis.
Yeah. With this adjustable offset mount, you can adjust your ride height with never changing the spring rate. And you can literally do it on a fly because when you use the adjustable offset mount, you put a button head screw with a little Delrin washer on the top. And once you bust the jam nut loose, you just spin the shock body and it'll raise and lower it.
Genius.
And then on top of that, we just released for the lower shock retainer. We now have these manufactured in brass to give you a little extra weight down low. And then we just released our new shock shafts, which are DLC coated, which is diamond-like coating. These shocks are super smooth. You just seen they have no oil in it, and they're super smooth right now. When you put the DLC shafts on it, they even get smoother.
Wow. That's
so lower brass spring props. I'm kind of snooping ahead on the on the website here. I guess I should share it.
Yeah, that offset cap. I've never seen anything like that. I mean, we used to drill caps and put rod ends, right on the cap. It was probably in the early 2000s. We were doing that on crawlers, but to have the offset, that's just a there's little departure.
There's several companies that have the offset, but ours is the only one that's fully adjustable up and down that uses the actual shock body, the threads to control the height.
Yeah.
And you can actually turn the rod end upside down and have the rod end pointing down and make it even shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the DLC shafts and the brass.
Yeah, I definitely got to pick up a set of these matte blacks.
Yeah, they're right now they're in 3 different colors: matte black, gunmetal, and natural. And of course, we plan on making some other colors.
Oh, this is gunmetal. I clicked on the wrong one.
Yeah, gunmetal is like a charcoal. It's a deep gray, but it's got the gloss finish. Whereas the matte black, it's a flat finish, like a satin finish.
So you said you're doing other colors like golds or blues or oranges. That
probably our next release, I will probably guess it's probably going to be purple.
Purple.
And then we'll just have to slowly go from there.
Right. Well, I was just thinking, if the buggy guys like gold shocks are like kind of standard. Yeah.
Well,
I like a good gold shock.
We're actually there's a guy, and I'm not going to say who it is, but there's a world champion buggy driver that his shocks are on his way to his house, and he's going to try these shocks on a buggy and see how they perform, and then we will adjust from there. Possibly go with a bigger bore for the off-road buggies.
Mhm.
One other thing we didn't talk about was the proprietary pistons that are in these shocks. They're the only shock on the market that are the piston is fully machined and it's got a groove in it. So there's an O-ring that sits between the piston and the shock body.
Oh,
So there's zero blow by when the shock compresses.
so it's all going through the valve.
It has to go through the holes.
Huh.
If you look at the rebuild kit, you might be able to see that.
All right.
I don't have one right here in front of me, right there.
Yeah, I was not aware of that. That's
Yeah, that piston right there has a little groove machined into it, and there's an O-ring that goes between that piston and the shock body.
Wow. Impressive. Impressive. Really love the originality and the thought that you put into it. And again, I know G-Speed's freaking out because this is perfect for those guys, but like you said earlier, it's not just comp. Jeremy, why do the scale guys want this?
Why do the scale guys want it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the ride height adjustability is awesome for the scale guys. It helps the trucks perform better.
so I don't have to have these long ass shocks.
And you know, if you want to run it in just a traditional way, I mean, I won't swear to you it's the smoothest shock, but it's one of the smoothest shocks on the market. You know, it's super easy to assemble, keep fluid in it. They don't leak. Of all the issues we've had, I've only had one customer message me, and it was about fluid. I believe he was running too thick of fluid in it. We talked, and of course, me being me, I took care of him and got him the stuff he needed, and I haven't heard anything back. So I'm guessing what we discussed fixed it. He was running a super heavyweight oil, and I'm like, with the O-ring between the shock body, you don't have to run a super heavy oil. I run 25 weight in mine, and they're like butter. I run the softs up front and the super softs in the rear.
Yeah, we've had such crappy shocks for so long. You know, running 1,000 weight or 3,000 CSTs, like that was a norm just to keep them from leaking down.
Yeah,
and to slow them up some. But
yeah,
you know, with the quality that you're at, you don't. Yeah, you can run that 25, 30s.
Yeah, they've done really well for us. I mean, the first round sold out in less than a month. We've still got a few of this round here, and I'm getting ready to make another big order. You know, and we've got some other stuff coming. You know, just different stuff. You know, we've tried to bring stuff to market that not everybody has. You know, we came up with aluminum body mounts years ago. I was the first one to have brass hexes, and unfortunately, those got copied by China, so that kind of hurt me a little bit. But you know, the body mounts and the hexes, those are all made here in the States.
Limit straps were great for the monster trucks, and
the limit straps and toe straps, those are all made with these hands right here. Up until a month and a half ago, I made every limit strap that ever left this building. We took over. We've got our rapid recovery straps now. The bungee straps. We're making those now. And it's just been crazy, you know.
Yeah, you've picked up some other stuff too. That
I don't even know if Mike knows about that.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to tell it on here or not.
Well, I don't care to tell it on here. You know, Mike, you know me from KNK. You know Amberly from KNK. We kind of talked about the RC Pickers thing a little bit earlier. What we haven't talked about is another adventure we stepped into back in June, and many of your viewers probably aren't aware of it, but as of June 1st, all of Cross RC is now distributed out of this building.
You made that announcement last year, I thought. That
June.
was June. Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't want to go full bore and just kind of put it out there. We're just trying to take baby steps. But we've been handling all that, and we're starting to reach out to hobby shops to get Cross into hobby shops now. The new Cross stuff is absolutely amazing. The quality has gotten so, they had a bad run there in the beginning, and they had some flaws, and they took the feedback and they fixed what needed to be fixed. This new emo line, the 10 scale line, has been really good. The durability is great. And now they've got the Emo X line, which is 8 scale. These things are monsters. They got the X3s, the XL 6x6s.
Yeah, I ran a couple of them down at the Georgia event with some other guys that had them, and wow, they did really well, and they held up really well. I was impressed.
The biggest concern that I've heard from users has been parts availability, and I can tell you that we've got a huge selection of parts availability. We are talking with some other people about getting them in more shops. But it's just like the KNK. I want to crawl before we walk, and I want to walk before we run. Right now, we're waiting on huge shipment to come in, trucks. They make some killer scale stuff. Like their 8x8s and their 6x6s are phenomenal. But if you go to Mike, if you want to pull the website up here,
Yep.
crossrc.us. That's my site. And I mean, they got some neat stuff out there.
Yeah.
We don't own Cross by no means. We're just handling the distribution here in the States.
Which is huge.
Yes.
I mean, I've built my share of the Cross. I've had a couple of the 5-ton lookalikes, the 6x6s and the 4x4s, and I've built quite a few of the 8x8s for clients. And the build experience is really good, but it's always come down to the parts availability. But it's with your reputation bringing it to and the distribution, I think you'll do really well with it. I know I've already talked to you what I want.
Yeah,
and I'm super happy that it will be coming from you when they do come in. So
yeah. But yeah, like they make a bunch of different trucks and like the extra bodies, we've got all them in stock, the super scale bodies, all the brass upgrades they make.
Yeah, the
X series. The X series is the 8 scale stuff, and that's been blowing up.
Wow.
Yeah, I could.
Does it come with an interior? Am I seeing this right?
Most of the X's come with full light kits. Some of them have sound, like the Wrecker has a working winch. They have full interiors for them.
Okay.
Like these trucks I see at events like Beat the Creek.
Oh yeah.
Or those large scale outdoor events where you can run these bigger trucks without having a 6 that you so that's where these things will shine.
Yeah, like that WT4 there on the far right. Yeah. I'm pointing. Yeah. I'm pointing to the right, but it's going left.
Yeah, that thing is wicked. I've seen a couple of them.
You want to talk about a build, though?
Yeah, you got to be in the right mind.
You're looking at a 4 to 6 month build to do it.
Yeah,
scale. You have to hand paint every part.
Yep.
But when you're done, you see what you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeremy Griffith.
Yes, I was just going to say, Jeremy Griffith just started one.
And he did a gloss over build on it. Like, he didn't really get super detailed, and it looked super detailed. And you could see where you could go the extra mile with it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. These things are that
my.
truck right there is wicked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it fits a 10 scale car on it.
Mhm.
Like that. Like you can put a rock crawler on the bed of that thing. It's not huge like the Traxxas truck.
Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
We're gonna get a letter tomorrow.
Yeah,
from
trademark.
Traxxas.
But yeah,
Wow.
these. Yeah, I'm super excited to see you working with them.
We've been excited to do so. I'm not going to lie. It's been a learning curve. There's been some hiccups, trying to keep the website up and going, trying to figure out, we've had some email glitches, but I think all in all, I've been able to handle everything we need to handle. Warranty wise, I'm handling all that as well. And there really hasn't been much other than something stupid here or there,
Very cool.
Yeah, that flagship Mammoth. I've built 2 of those, and that is no freaking joke. That thing is nuts.
Did you keep one of these on your desk at work when you were working, Jeremy? Was this one that you built and kept in your office?
I had one in my office. Yeah. That was a client build, but it was. Yeah, it stayed with me until it was paid for.
Wow. So this makes you the exclusive USA distributor for Cross.
Yeah.
Is that the big announcement? And is this official now? This is up and running, or is this?
It is. I've got Robert Mazza handled it for years, and he's kind of throwing the reins to me and Amberly, and we've took off and started rolling with it. We have all the inventory here. We have all the. I mean,
Bravo.
We've got pallet racking up. We've been getting containers of trucks in. So
I think Fishing Bill said it best. Going to visit you is a dangerous place. Wow.
Fishing Bill's been here quite a few times.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, he lives about an hour away.
I pity him.
Fishing Bill's got a nice little shop set up at his place.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a 2-car garage that his wife has allowed him to turn into his little man cave, and he's got a nice little setup. Plus, it's got a KNK banner hanging in it, so that's good. Yeah.
That is awesome.
The shop.
That is.
My shop looks like a bomb went off.
Yeah, you gotta. I cleaned up a little bit.
I do have a KNK banner.
Yeah, I got a scale one around here.
Well, while you're panning, show us that Mike Kirby special up in the corner. Where's that 3D printed Mike Kirby?
Tell me when you can see it.
Oh, I see it.
Yep. Pick that one up pretty quick. Nice.
Oh, I love it. That is good stuff. All right, Jeremy, hold him down for a second. I'm going to pull up a couple of questions here. You hold
here we go.
You hold this show together, Jeremy. Give me a minute.
What do you want to talk about, Jeremy?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll do my best here. Let's see what else
Let's talk about
hardware. Holy crap! Do not let him get off the hook without talking hardware.
Well,
what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about where the hardware started, where it is now?
Yeah,
well,
I want to know if we're going to go. I mean, are you pushing stainless steel, or is it not? You tell people go black oxidized. If I'm coming to you for hardware, what do you tell them to get?
So my first question when you ask me for hardware is, what do you do with your vehicle?
Drive it on the beach in the ocean.
Well, then you definitely want stainless because we don't want to deal with the rust. If you so much to get it outside by the beach and not even get on the beach, it's going to rust. When it comes to hardware, there's lots of different. People say, all stainless is this and stainless is that. Stainless will do 99% of whatever you want to do with an RC car. Yes, it is softer than black oxide, but it's still plenty strong. The key to keeping good hardware is that right there.
Good tools.
Good tools. We can get hardware cheaper than what we get it, but we don't. We pay a premium to make sure we supply quality hardware. It all started with the monster bag many years ago. It's 700 piece, button, cap, and nuts and washers. One thing different with our hardware than anybody else out there is it's all individually bagged and tagged. So I like to say if it's bagged and tagged, it's KNK. When you get your kit and you open it up, you've got 20, 30, 40 bags, whatever it is you buy. And each bag is individually labeled with the size screw that's in there. So there's no more guessing game. There's no more going to a bin like this and saying, hey, what screw do I need? Yeah.
So, like, I've been mine, but in there are the tags right out of your bags.
You know how many of them containers I've seen over the years with the tag taped to it?
Yep.
Now,
And then I have my second bag, which has all the bags in it. And typically when I do a build, I'll just roll this out on a mat and just pick out what I need. And I'm finding less and less use for these big bins when I can just roll out the bag.
Well, people always say, well, why don't you put your stuff in bins? Because there's other manufacturers that do. And I've been an RC hobbyist for God knows how long, way too long, 39 years. How many little containers do we as RC hobbyists have full of knickknacks? Why not grab one box? And you can go to Walmart, you can go to Bass Pro Shops. Heck, we even sell them with the KNK sticker on them.
Yep.
Buy the one box and put your hardware in there and be done.
Yep.
There's no sense in selling these little containers if you don't need them.
Yeah, it's about twice a year I'll get
a monster
one
bag or a mega bag.
A mega or a monster bag.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the monster bag was our very first kit we came out with. And it's 700 pieces. It's got cap heads from 4 millimeter to 30 millimeter. It's got button heads from 6 millimeter to 14 millimeter. It's got nuts and washers. I've heard Tail building 3, 4, 5 trucks out of them. If you're wanting to replace every screw, that won't do it for you, because some of these newer trucks have 2 millimeters and 3 millimeters, or 2 and 2.5s, and that's all 3 mil. So you may want to get a vehicle specific, or you may want to get an M2 bulk bag, or M25 or M14. We have lots of different variations there. Like if you scroll down just a little bit.
Yep. Hang on.
You're all right. See, right there's the M2, the M14.
Yep.
You make it so simple.
Yep. And this is what I pick up. I think the last one I won, the M2 bag, I think I won at one of the raffles. But that's typically what I pick up from you at a show. It's like I'll grab, a bag just, as we're standing there shooting the shit. But
something else people don't realize is you can go to our website, and if you just need a specific size, we have all the specific sizes there in the individual hardware that you can buy in quantity 10, 25, 100, or even 500. So what's happening is a lot of these manufacturers, these people that are building products for people, they're actually supplying our hardware with their product.
Yeah, like Gabe Fleming said, all the G-Speed stuff.
Gabe's one of our best customers. I mean, he buys a lot of hardware, and he pushes it. I mean, and if you're going to buy a chassis kit, you definitely want to build it with good hardware.
Yep. And I've heard a few people, questioning titanium again, and this always runs around, right? Aluminum hardware for light stuff, titanium hardware for strong stuff.
Yep.
Um, I've kind of seen it show up again.
It kind of goes back to the bearing bushing thing.
Yeah.
All right. Rock crawlers, trail trucks, we're not concerned about 2 grams here or a gram there. The black oxide and stainless is plenty strong. Some of your comp crawlers, they're concerned about weight, and I can see where they want to run an aluminum screw there or here. My problem that I want to make it to where it's affordable for the end user, and titanium hardware is so expensive to build a complete kit.
Yeah.
And when you buy our Axial SDS10 kit, when you go to put that truck together, not only do you have enough hardware to build it, but you have extras to where, all right, it's 9:00 at night on Saturday and I'm here working on my truck and I drop that screw on the floor. You know, and I know, and anybody who's ever turned a wrench knows that thing done went 4 miles that way.
You don't have your cow RC mat.
Yeah. Or it's underneath your shoe.
The magnetic mat does not help
On
with
stainless.
Not good quality stainless.
But yeah, so I mean, I feel like there's a need for aluminum and titanium. It's just not the market that we've tapped into, and there's suppliers out there in the industry that's what they specialize in. So we've tried to hone in on what we specialize in, and that's the black and the stainless, and we've done pretty well with it.
Yeah, no question there. No question there.
Wow. What a selection. Holy crap. You make it so simple. 5 vehicle, listed.
Yeah,
Man.
I remember this is one of the first times I talked to you, and I think we exchanged some, I don't know if it was Messenger or whatever it was. I just got the CFXW, the MST truck, and it just hit the market. And I was like, hey, I really want to put stainless in this when I build it. And you simply said, just write down all the sizes from the instruction manual and I'll make you a kit. And it was that easy. And it was very reasonably priced. And I think you still make that kit for the CFX.
I still make that kit. Actually, I do it a little bit different now, but yeah, I do use manuals. I use trucks. You know, there's some of them out there you have to physically take the trucks apart. But yeah, I mean, if a customer says, "Hey, I got this XYZ," I mean, I've even done it for cars that are 30 years old. You know, I mean, there's stuff on my site if you go on there, like a Viper. You know, I built the kits. I think I've sold 2 of them, but a customer needed it, so let's make it happen. You know, of course, we're going to make the stuff for the modern stuff, but if you go to the site, there's a lot of vintage stuff on there as well. You know, Samurais and of course all the Lowe's double X and triple X stuff and the Associated. I mean, Associated's been releasing all these new re-releases. So the RC10s, the Dual Sports, the 10Ts, we make kits for all that.
Yep. Yeah, and staying on top of that, you know, like I can imagine you had RC10 kits, you know, sitting around collecting dust for a while, and then Associated re-releases it, and then you're sold out.
Yeah, you know, you say RC10, all right. You would be surprised how many RC10 kits we sell, because that is one car that is such an iconic buggy that from the racing side, I mean, it's just unbelievable how many of them we make compared, you know, but they made up 10 million of the gold pans from 84 until the early 90s when they came out with the B2.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure we tell Harold thanks for the comment about congrats on the weight loss. I want to make sure he heard that. I see he's still on here.
He did say that earlier. He
Yeah.
said you look good. You hear that, Harold? He said thank you.
Harold's a good guy. He's on here all the time.
Yeah, he is. Solid man. All right, Jeremy, I've got everything loaded.
Here we go.
Here we go. Jeremy's going to keep score. He's
Hey,
gonna
just so you know, I was not warned about any of these questions. I'm not responsible for the answers you will get.
Well, you already kind of cheated earlier. I had to check the calendar. There was definitely a Valentine's Day Hallmark moment earlier. You were getting awfully romantic there, giving Amberly all the love. I'm going to set you up again. Don't worry. We're going to tee these up for you and make you look like a hero by the end of this game.
I'd say Amberly's probably watching.
Well, you're going to make her day if you answer them right.
If not, I'm going to be sleeping out here in the shop.
Exactly. You'll be in the doghouse. All right. Now, we actually have, let's see here. Let's do this. Let's give you official little Jeopardy music in the background. We'll make it official. Turn that down a hair so we can hear the questions. And Jeremy, let's timestamp it for the people playing at home. We're playing a little TNT. The sample question to get the party started, we give you an example of call or text.
Call.
We're going to jump right into it. East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast, baby.
Army or Navy?
Army.
Cocoa Pebbles or Fruity Pebbles?
Fruity Pebbles.
Were you a Flintstones or the Jetsons guy?
Neither.
Neither. Ranch or blue cheese?
Ranch.
Bone in or bone out?
Out.
F Sorka or yeah Sorka?
KNK TTC.
We'll take that. Go to a bar or go to church?
Church.
Twix or Snickers?
Snickers.
Rattle can or airbrush?
Both.
Autobot or Decepticon?
G.I. Joe.
Rust bucket or bring the bling?
Rusty Trusty, I guess.
All right. Christmas or Halloween?
Christmas.
Pizza or Chinese food?
And
I'm going to make you real
hands down
hungry.
pizza. Cauliflower crust.
Mirror chrome or murdered out black?
Murder it.
Slot machines or blackjack?
Poker. Blackjack.
Lexan or hard body?
Both have it. I do more like saying.
Okay. Burger or hot dog?
Burger.
That was not booger. It was burger. Burger or hot dog?
Burger.
Ketchup or mustard?
Mustard.
Jeep or truck?
Say that again now?
Was that truck or truck?
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Win the lottery or meet your soulmate?
Both. I already got one.
And that would be your soulmate.
Yeah.
For Amberly playing at home, he met his soulmate. Flat rail or C channel? Gabe's listening.
But both have options.
Hey, we're putting your balls in a vice.
Oh, that's rough. I mean, I'm trying to think what I've got here. We'll go flat.
All right. Hunting or fishing?
Fishing.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coca-Cola.
Game over. You could only get one wrong answer. blew it.
Well, you didn't say Chiefs or Eagles.
we know that answer. Come on. KFC or Taco Bell?
Taco Bell.
Action movie or comedy?
Comedy.
A cat or dog?
Dog.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
Samsung or iPhone?
Samsung.
Speeding ticket or parking ticket?
Speeding.
Oh boy, let's see here. 10-year. Would you rather meet yourself 10 years in the future or 10 years in the past?
I'd rather go back 10 years.
All right. Let's keep on the food. Hard shell or soft shell taco?
Soft.
UFO or Bigfoot?
Bigfoot.
Crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
Smooth.
Air guitar or air drums?
Air drums.
3-day weekend. Are you a Monday
phone
or a
rang, sorry.
Friday?
Say that again.
3-day
My phone rang.
No worries. 3-day weekend. Are you a Monday or a Friday guy? You want Fridays or Mondays off?
Monday's off.
Supercross or MotoGP?
Everything I drive has 4 wheels.
No 2 wheels for this man. All right. Crocs or flip-flops?
Crop.
Are you a guy that looks at it half empty or half full?
Half empty.
Speed or torque?
Ooh, torque.
O.J. Simpson, guilty or not?
Does it matter?
It doesn't, no. Monster truck or NASCAR for your 4-wheel friends here?
Old NASCAR.
Okay. X Games or Olympics?
X Games.
Vanilla or chocolate?
One isn't without the other. Chocolate.
Turbo or nitro?
All natural.
Metric or imperial?
Oh, gosh. 10 years ago, I'd said imperial.
Okay.
I guess probably metric now.
Pancakes or waffles?
Bacon.
Bacon. Get up and dance or sit this one out?
Oh, I'm going to break it down.
My man. All right, you survived the game of this and that. We're going to do a quick high five. All we need from you is one RC car. What would it be? One RC car for the rest of your life. What would you choose? Daniel
Rowland's monster truck conversion kit.
That was awfully specific.
Very specific.
Favorite movie?
Roadhouse.
Favorite band?
Alabama.
One food for the rest of your life, over and over, what could you eat?
Pizza.
Pizza. One person on a deserted island, dead or alive, who would it be?
My wife.
Bingo. And he survived the game of this and that. Jeremy will have your prize in the mail after he tallies up your score. And we thank you for playing.
Did I pass?
You passed.
Oh, yeah.
With flying colors. Dude, he was rapid fire. Bam, bam.
And as soon as you go with Bigfoot, you won. Like, that's a reasonable person.
Truck or truck?
Is there anything else?
There was nothing else.
I can't say that. I mean, we've got a Chevelle, a wagon, a Buick. I just bought a Barracuda last night.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Now, your wagon, you have a very old station wagon.
1971 Chevy Kingswood.
That thing, like, I would love to cross the country in that thing.
And you know what? You could probably get in it right now, put a set of windshield wipers on it, and make it to California.
Wow, that is just baller. That's killer.
402 Chevy big block back with a 400 turbo with a 12-bolt rear end.
Wow. Man, oh day.
Can you guys see this question here about the Cross RC truck? Jeremy, can you see this one?
And I did answer him.
Okay.
They are about that size-ish. They're a little like 12th scale-y, like Tamiya, and that's just for the scale trucks, like the military stuff.
Yeah, okay. The JT4 is more 10 scale.
Yeah.
They said JT4. It's 10 scale. The HC6s and stuff like Jeremy's talking about are more along the 14 scale. I think the classify them as 12, but they're a little bit smaller proportional wise.
Did Cross get into the micro world at all? 18, 24 scale?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
How about the mini monster truck scene? What do you think of that?
I sell a lot of limit straps for it. 62.5 millimeters.
I was trying to dig up an old photo here. You went so far beyond for an ASD autism monster truck build I did. Do you remember doing the one-off single color limit straps? So it was basically a set of limit straps with 4 colors: the red, blue, yellow, green. I think we ended up doing.
Yeah, I remember doing them. I don't remember all the details of it.
Red, blue, yellow, green. I think it was. Yeah, but I mean, for you to go that far beyond and put a custom one of each in a bag, very cool. That's the customer service you're getting from the KNK family.
So you asked me. I'll just tell a quick story. You said that was very specific about an RC car. There's a lot of cars here that I absolutely, adore. But that one there, it's not even a car. It's a conversion kit to convert a Yokomo 4-wheel drive to a 4-wheel drive truck. But that's my one box that I'll never get rid of. And the reason for that, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about the community and the people you meet and the people you don't get a chance to meet. So I had this friend, we were social media friends on Facebook, and I believe he was from the United Kingdom. But we would talk many, many, many late nights. But he ended up getting sick with cancer. And he was battling, and he was doing okay. And we did a trade. And he wanted a YZ10, and he had this new-in-the-box kit. And I said, I'll make the trade with you, Daniel. He said, okay. He said, when can you ship? And I said, I'll ship it out this week. So I shipped mine out, and he ended up getting sicker. And I'm like, all right, just take your time. Your health's more important than this car. So I don't know. I'm going to guess 6 months went by. And every time I talked to him, he's like, man, I ain't forgot about you. It's at my mom and dad's. It's sitting on the top of the hutch there. When I get to feeling better, I'll go get it. And I'm like, Daniel, it's not a big deal, buddy. Well, long story short, Daniel, his fight's over, and he didn't make it. And I was pretty upset. Not only did I lose a friend, but then I'm like, man, I never did get that, but it would mean something to me. And so I reached out to one of the old school guys, and I said, hey, I don't want this, but if you ever hear of his stuff being sold, please let me know. I'd like to buy it from his estate to put in my collection. Well, the next day, and no one had contacted him, but the next day, this other gentleman reached out to me. I've never met him. I've talked to him a handful of times on Facebook since, and he says, hey, did you have this deal with Daniel? And I'm like, yeah. He said, do you have any proof? I'm like, yeah, man, I've got every message I've ever sent the guy. He said, did you ship? I said, yeah. I shipped it 8, 9, 10 months ago. It's no big deal. He said, Daniel's mom would like your address. And I'm like, okay. So I sent it to him, not thinking nothing about it. Well, like a week later, I get this package in the mail, and it's that truck. And then with that truck was a handwritten letter from his mother saying that Daniel fought a hard fight, and he always wanted her to promise that she would mail this truck to me if something happened. And I'm like, that just tells what kind of caliber person this man was. And I never had the opportunity to meet him, but that one truck there, and I've got the letter, and it's sitting up in my collection, and it's not going anywhere. But that truck right there probably means the most to me of all the trucks I have.
Okay.
You know, to think this man is battling for his life, and he wants to make sure he does things right. That tells you what kind of person he was. You know, I just wish I had the opportunity to meet him in person.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, those are the special trucks, the conversation starters on the shelf. Wow.
Man, I got Mike speechless.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you shut him up.
You do.
That's-
Hey, I wasn't expecting to get all sentimental like that. I thought we were ending on a high note and you swing it around. But definitely good stuff. Like I said, a true icon in the hobby. I would have loved to break it down and get your thoughts on 2024, what you thought in a whole. I mean, you sitting in the captain's chair looking at the landscape of the RC scene. We lost a lot of companies in 2024. Probably we're counting both hands, and if I take my socks off, I'm about 25 mom and pops that did not survive 24. What's your outlook for 25? Are we pulling this thing through? What's the future for RC?
Well, I think 2024, 2023, 2022, the COVID-19 thing, we had a lot of people struggling. My outlook for 2025 is I think it's going to be a solid year. It's funny you even mentioned this because I was cleaning out an old display case and there was an old KNK TTC banner in there from 2016 or 17. And I looked at the companies that were sponsors, and over half of them were no longer around.
Wow.
So I've seen it firsthand. People come and go. You have to be able to hang with the good times and bad. You know, I think the hobby as a whole's kind of changing. I think it's already changed. I think it's actually changing back. 4 years ago, during the COVID-19 era, RTR was all you had. Everything went RTR. No one was building. And I feel like this younger generation, since they've gotten their feet wet, are starting to build more and customize more.
Good.
But I feel like myself, as someone, I don't consider myself an icon. I consider myself more of like an ambassador. It's my responsibility to help these guys and teach these guys the little stupid things that nobody even thinks about that's been in the hobby for 20 years. You know, a screw stuck in the bottom of a chassis that's a flathead that's stripped out. You know, by simply taking a Dremel tool and cutting a notch in it, you can take it out with a flat screwdriver. You know, it's the little things, cutting off bumpers and learning how to drill and tap holes. You know, but I feel like we're seeing more of that now than we did 2 years ago, which is ultimately what started this hobby back in the late 60s, early 70s. You know, these cars, when you bought them out of the box, they were nothing, like a piece of fiberglass and some molded arms. And if you wanted to make them competitive, you had to physically, you know, grind and shave and mill and do a bunch to them to make them work. So I feel like that generation is coming back swinging. And Jeremy, maybe you can agree with me some there, with some of the scale stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
But I look forward for 2025 and 2026.
Yeah. With a lot of creativity with 3D printing.
The 3D,
Bamboo,
the machinist of the future, right, is 3D printing.
Bamboo had a big impact in 24 on this hobby.
The 3D printing market, not just from the scale stuff, but the actual stuff, that functioning stuff is unreal.
Yeah.
Because I went to college for engineering and decided to be an iron worker. And I knew how to draw CAD back, 96, 97. And I can draw 3D stuff flat on the paper. But like the new Fusion and stuff like that, I struggle with it.
Mm-hmm.
But Gavin at 14 years old would come in there and whip up something. We've got tool holders and bumpers and stuff he's drawn. So that's letting this newer generation, the 3D printers have allowed them to be very creative.
Yep.
and think outside the box.
Yeah. I look at it the same way as like you and I, like we may have had a mini lathe or a good vise and a hammer, or some decent drill bits from our dad.
Right there. That right there was my machining tool for years.
Yeah. So like we handmade a lot of stuff and handcrafted a lot of things out of metals. And now this generation is doing it in 3D and CAD. And they're like, hey, if you like, they're very willing to share it. I mean, you go on to Yegi, you can look up pretty much anything from a dinosaur to a Lego, and you can, they give it away, or they're charging $9 for a truck.
This right here is a prime example of the engineering that happened years ago. This is the first MIP transmission they ever made. All right. You imagine this sitting in a car. This motor is super high, right? This is a simple piece of aluminum bent, drilled, and look where the motor's at.
Yep, just laid it on.
In order to use this, you had to physically grind the end of the transmission off and bolt it in from this side. So it took hands-on skill, and that's what I'm seeing more of nowadays. Especially in the past year, I've seen a lot of it.
Yeah, it gives me hope for the future of the hobby, but it's evolving. It's it's holding its root base. It's just changing the applications.
I'm seeing a lot of guys come back in 2024 and 2025 that got out during COVID.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Reef joining in. Reef's
Reef's here. And Brock.
Hey guys.
He just sent me a message, so I'm guessing he must have screenshotted me on TV or something.
You'll be a meme all next week.
Yeah.
That's all right. I like old Shreve.
Yeah.
I have quite an extensive collection of raw 500 servos.
Yes, you do.
And believe it or not, all of my vintage buggies for this big vintage race are running Reefs 299s.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great one for that.
Super fast, plenty of torque. Unfortunately, the buggies I'm running, they require you to snip off 2 of the ears. So I had to go down to my buddy that has a machine shop here in town. I'm like, hey, I need to borrow your mill. And we had to mill off some ears to make them fit in these cars. So I've got 6 299s with 2 ears on them.
Reef might be able to hook you up with replacements to those.
I'd say they'll probably stay in these buggies. But yeah, man, we've been on here for like an hour and 40 minutes already.
Yeah. I've got the dog sitter screaming at me to come pick up the dog. I got my wife screaming at me to pick her up. Yeah, I think we went over our limit.
We
Well,
could
hey,
do this
guys,
all day.
it's been a great time, and I'll gladly come back anytime.
You've got a seat anytime.
I can talk shop and talk RC till I'm purple in the face.
Amen to that. No, you've got a seat here anytime you want, Michael. We greatly appreciate the insight into shocks and hardware and all things Kirby family. Keep up the good work. We wish you nothing but good health and a great 2025.
Look forward to it. So hopefully we'll see you at some of them.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to be coming over your way to do some cross RC shopping. That is in my future. Oh,
you have a swap meet coming up, right?
Yeah, March 8th. It's March 8th, the Lebanon Warren County Fairgrounds. Quite possibly I won't say the largest, but one of the largest surface RC swap meets in the U.S. We have about 120 tables. Normally have 500, 600, 700 people there. And we have 100 tables for outside people. I typically set up about 20 myself, so we normally have about 120. And lots of deals to find. ATM on site, so. But yeah, we have that every year. That was something that kind of started as a joke. My birthday is March 9th. That swap meets March 8th. We always have it on my birthday weekend. And Amberly said, let's have it that weekend because you spend all year traveling around buying collections. People can just bring them to you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Nice.
Good old swap meet. Yes, I am jealous of that. I would love to make it out for a good swap meet. And that big, holy crap!
We packed the house.
It's dangerous coming to Ohio, people. You heard it here. Stay far, far away.
So,
all right.
I won't say it's that bad.
All right. We're going to get us out of here.
All righty, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It was awesome having you, Michael. Thank you very much. And we'll see you soon.
All right. See you, buddy. Bye.
All right. That was freaking fantastic. Jeremy, we couldn't ask for any more than that.
No.
What I have for you, if I can trap you here long enough, I know we wanted to talk riff, but I'm running out of time. I'm going to save it for next week. We'll dive in deep on the riff next week. I do have, if I can share the screen, I can fade us out of here with Go Sports. See if this works. Share Go Sports. If this works, it's going to be a miracle. If I had it all lined up, but I can't find the play button. Go Sports for all you Eagles fans. Will take us out. See you all next week for the Eagles pep rally.